Time to go through the papers this morning with political editor of HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and showbiz reporter extraordinaire, Stephanie Tetchy. I always have to build something in because, Stephanie, you are one of life's most very favourite
Stop it,
people.
Stephen. You're making a black woman blush.
I love you.
What are you after, Stephen?
Do you know what?
Yeah,
I just
what
think
are you
that
after?
in life you come across too few good people.
Well, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that.
Thank you.
It's true.
Feeling very touched.
I mean every word of it. Pay me now.
OK.
OK, Kevin, let's have a look at the Independent, should we? Ukraine.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of Ukraine in the papers today. Second anniversary of the invasion, and the article in the Independent is basically saying, no, yeah, the war is in Ukraine, but this isn't just about Ukraine. This is a fight for the West, and it quotes one Ukrainian person saying, "If Ukraine loses, the West will be next. I don't want the world to be turned into a slaughtered mess." Now that is the fear, isn't it? Is that it's not as if Putin will just bank Ukraine if he was to succeed and then
what's he got his eye on next?
Stop there. It's a question of what next. He's spoken before about wanting to rebuild, the Greater Russia, the old Soviet Union, and that is what's at stake, really.
And also, if Trump becomes president,
Yeah.
Where does Ukraine stand then in terms of?
Well, we even noticed it with the death of Navalny. Trump has very noticeably not criticised or blamed Putin for it at all. Although, on the other hand, he does say that if he had been president, the war would never have happened now. That was a huge pinch of salt.
Point in that he does seem to be able to communicate with Putin.
Yeah.
It's not about communicate. Isn't it the fact that his finger appears to be hovering over the button is so unpredictable? Now, that's uncomfortable for a lot of us, but actually for an enemy, if you want to put it in those terms, it's even more uncomfortable.
Well, it makes you think twice, doesn't it, about doing anything that might well provoke him. The thing is, when he was in power the last time, he was actually, when it came to foreign policy matters, a bit more pragmatic. You've got to remember, he's surrounded by Joint Chiefs of Staff, these military chiefs, hugely experienced, who will be giving him lots and lots of advice. But it is an unknown, without a doubt.
Go from, it's like with North Korea, you sort of went from Rocket Man and all these very odd texts and tweets and all the rest of it, which we all thought it's something going to happen, to saying, he's going to visit, which no other president could have done.
No.
And going, he's a really nice guy, he sends me love letters and all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was quite actually pragmatic in the end.
It goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, well, that is the danger. He's not predictable.
But is that could be a strength of Trump's when it comes with Putin?
I would hate to say that. He seems to have this charismatic touch with those kind of controversial figures, as much as I don't think as Trump is charismatic in any other sphere of political life. He does seem to get it right in that sense. But I do like the Independent piece because I've been quite critical about the money and the amount of money we've been sending to Ukraine during the war, even though my heart does go out to them. But now I guess I see it as a bigger picture, of what it's at stake.
OK.
All right, let's have a smile, should we? Steph, on the front of the Mirror, their headline, King and Tonic. Yeah,
the King's spirits have been lifted. He's received over 7,000 cards from well-wishers who are hoping that he makes a recovery from his diagnosis of cancer, and he says that he's been left, touched by the cards. Some of them have made him smile, some of them have made him cry. Most of them have been hand-drawn, which I think is beautiful, because I think that means a lot of effort has really been put into it. He says,
I love that. I saw one there that sent recorded delivery or signed for, so they wanted to know it got there.
And we know that people who put their enclose their address will get a nice reply, although we've had one disgruntled person contacting us saying they've tried and nothing.
Monica's written 5 times to the King. We've put in self-addressed and stamped envelopes and still no reply.
Maybe 6 times lucky, maybe. But one card that really touched him, it said, "Never give up and be brave," and apparently that brought the King to tears. But I like this. One thing I've liked about the King is that he's been very transparent about both the good parts and the bad parts, and I think it's very inspirational, and I think it just makes us feel more closer to him. And
I'll tell you what, you see, I mean, I don't know, because it's just the pictures we've seen there, but they seem to be written by children. A lot of them done by children, maybe a school project, that sort of thing. But I think that's really positive, isn't it, to get children involved in the monarchy?
And I mean, it does show that there is obviously an awful lot of love and affection out there for him, and I think as well it shows a change of approach maybe by the royal family. I mean, even, would you imagine that the Queen would have been quite as well? Probably not, from a completely different generation, obviously, you know, and it just shows that, you know, he's obviously embracing the social media age, he's putting out videos there, and, as you say, Steph, it is positive that he's being transparent about it, because it can increase awareness as well, which is...
And I think it is a good tonic for anyone who's sick, that just to know that you're being thought of and that people are sending those love and well wishes. I do feel like that ends up having a positive effect.
Well, your brain health is so important. You
need so much uplifting.
Kevin, let's talk more politics with you, because this is about who can replace Sunak at the top. Is this before or after an election?
Well, they're still talking about
times, isn't it?
So you know, this is a real. They're stirring the pot a little bit here. The Times, they've done so it's in two parts. One is saying who could possibly replace him, but also they've got quite a big in-depth piece about the plot that's going on. And there is a plot, you know, people are denying it, but there is definitely a feeling. I still think it's a minority view amongst Conservatives that if only they could get rid of Rishi Sunak before the election, they might still have a chance. Now, I'm not convinced of that myself, I have to say. I think it'd be the opposite. It would look mad. I think just normal people would think, you can't change leader again. This is absolutely bonkers. But, you know, they've got shadowy pictures of advisors. Lord Frost, obviously, the Tory peer, former Brexit advisor.
Any picture of Suella Braverman there?
No, but a former advisor of his... Jake Ryan is there, and they've got pictures of them going in and out of this secret location all week, all this type of thing.
So furtive.
Well, Penny Mordaunt's been doing the rounds, hasn't she?
Well, yeah, she's been very high profile. Kemi Badenoch as well, you know, she is very keen to get her name out there. I think she's definitely the bookies' favourite. But I think this is for after the election in reality, because we're only, at most, maybe 9-10 months away from a general election. The idea that you could get rid of Rishi Sunak, have a leadership contest, then have a new Prime Minister who could then put their stamp of authority on the situation before a general election, I think that would be...
Would you really want to be that person who leads the party into the election only to lose?
No.
Totally. You're probably better just to wait and pick up pieces afterwards and then try and rebuild them. I
think that would be the final nail in the coffin for the Conservatives if they did do a leadership race before the general election. And to be honest, I think the way... Obviously, I can't speak for everyone in the country, but the mood is people are just bored of the Conservatives, period, regardless who's in charge. 14 years, a
long time. People just want change.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a great enthusiasm for Labour either, to be honest with you. There's no great love there, but I think people are just ready for a change, and the change...
Do you think
under
it's the other way around? If it had been 14 years of Labour government, people would be...
Yeah, probably. I mean, we saw that under Blair and Brown. You know, you look at the size of the majorities they got in 97, obviously, and 2001, and yet they were kicked out in 2010. People just... That's just the way it goes, you know. It's like you usually get a decade if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And once people just want a change of scene, really.
Yeah, I think that's probably right, really. Stephanie, British Airways, the world's favourite airline.
Not no more, and especially not with Brits, because it scored pretty lowly in a survey which was carried out by which was judged on passengers' experiences over 10,000 trips, and it scored even below EasyJet for short-haul flights, and also against long-haul flights it came in the bottom. And it was all based on things such as punctuality, cancellations, customer service, value for money, seat comfort and food, drink, and it just seems travellers have not been happy with BA on this. And, you know, it is our national airline carrier, but it just seems not to be connecting anymore with travellers when it comes to providing...
Not connecting them.
Well, British Airways have said... We always work hard to get our customers to where they need to be on time. We apologise to customers for any disruption they've faced during these challenging periods, and again, thank them for their understanding.
Yeah. I mean, from personal experience, I would say EasyJet are probably better, you know, for like long-haul flights. Or actually, not just for short haul. Sorry, I meant short haul, but not just for short haul. You know, like over to the continent and what have you. Just from personal experience, whereas I've had some problems with BA, sometimes flying up to Scotland. So So yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
I think the consumer has so much choice now when it comes to trying to book with the airline now. You just go on somewhere like Skyscanner, and BA is probably not at the top of the list when you are getting trips. You're getting so many competitive prices. Different airline carriers can get you there in shorter time. So BA does have a lot of stiff competition at the moment.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's what I do. I go on price.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day.
You filter it on lowest to highest price, and if it's at a decent time, off you go.
Also, it can be the ease of using the website, though, as well, and how fiddly that is, because you have to add everything to it, don't you? Luggage, you pay all those extras.
Yeah, and BA is quite expensive, unfortunately.
Yeah, I suppose it is, really. I mean, it's been a long time since I've flown British Airways.
But it still has that cachet as you say,
it does,
the national carrier. People, BA or BA is bound to be better, isn't it? 'Cause it's British Airways. But in actual fact, the reality can sometimes be pretty different.
Yeah, oh well, there you go. Cheaper is always better as far as I'm concerned. Maybe they need to lower the prices. Or serve the food. It's charging for the food that drives me mad.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Don't eat them.
Bring sandwiches with
British
you.
Airways, it was like you got a free meal, didn't you?
Like a three-course meal at one time.
Yeah,
you know?
not anymore. Anyway, right, thank you both. We'll see you a little bit later on. Let's get the check on the weather for you with Alex.